So much for choosing us. I am Pius Kojobaka. To that big story we are learning in the world of business, President Akufo-Addo has stated that the new Bank of Ghana head office, known as the Bank Square, will further emphasize the country's quest to achieve economic stability through its monetary policies. The 22-story building Bank Square near the Ridge Runabout comprises 4 components, namely the amenity pavilion, urban block, the podium, and the tower. Speaking at the commissioning, President Akufo-Addo said the edifice shows progress in the country's economic indicators. Here's a report.
In the heart of Accra, the Bank Square redefines commercial office spaces in Ghana with its focus on sustainability, efficiency, and employee wellness. Spanning 150,000 square meters, this state-of-the-art project accommodates 2,500 staff members across 7 interconnected structures within a beautifully landscaped environment, complete with a multi-level parking.
Now, with a lot of conversations surrounding this particular edifice, now today the Bank of Ghana, together with President Danko Akufo-Addo, has finally commissioned the new Bank Square. And speaking at the inauguration, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, indicated that this is to ensure some form of centralization, which would bring some form of coordination going forward. For Joy Business, James Ishen.
We want to stay a while longer at the central bank because as the Monetary Policy Committee of the bank prepares to begin sitting to announce a new policy rate, economist Professor Patrick Asuming is hopeful the lending rate will be kept unchanged at 27%. According to him, inflation over the past few months now have been recording marginal increases, therefore the need to be measured when lowering the policy rate. Speaking to Joy Business ahead of the announcement, Professor Asuming admonished the central bank to tread cautiously.
I think my expectation is for the BOG to stay the rate, to keep the rate as it is. It's, like you said, they've only recently reduced it by 200 basis points, which is it's quite steep. Now, I mean, there are factors on both sides. You've seen the central banks in advanced countries have started to ease their policy rate. That gives some room. And then also the fact that, the economy is growing. But you look at the fact that in the last 3 readings, there's been marginal increases in the inflation rate. And so you begin to wonder whether we should keep reducing. I think, however you believe, however you think about the effectiveness of the monetary policy, I think central banks should usually take their time. So when you cut, you wait and see its effect play out in the economy and before you decide to make another decision. So I think that for me, the best course of action is to wait and see what the last reduction would have done. Of course, unless the BOG puts out some other data that shows something that was unknown to them before. But based on what I've seen, my expectation is for them to keep the rate unchanged.
The Africa NENDA report on the state of inclusive instant payment systems in Africa 2024 indicates that instant payment systems in Africa recorded 49 billion transactions in 2023, representing a 47% growth. According to the Deputy Chief Executive of Africa NENDA, Sabine Mensah, this can be attributed to the growing digitalization in African countries. She was speaking at the launch of the report.
State of Inclusive Instant Payment Systems in Africa 2024 report showcases the continent's progress towards increasing digital payment transaction access and usage through instant payment systems. Despite the successes made, the report revealed that fraud, data privacy, and cost have remained consistent barriers to the growth of the instant payment system in Africa. Speaking at the launch of the report, Deputy Chief Executive of Africa NENDA, Sabine Mensah, said African governments need to back the move to improve inclusivity.
I think there are a couple of things to really strike me, at least on this slide. One of them is we're looking at 49 billion transactions processed in 2023 by instant payment systems in Africa. 49 billion. Last year, we were at 32 billion. So that's a growth of 47%, just 1 year. And if you look at the last 5 years, you're looking at an average growth of 37%. That's amazing. Africa is leading on instant payment systems as a continent, and definitely the traction in digitization is really showing by looking at the transaction growth that we're seeing. I think one of the important aspects is that when we were doing the report, we expressed the value of transaction on the exchange rate of 2024, April 2024, which means we had to go through all the past data and put it at the same exchange rate.
Head of real-time payments at the Ghana Interbank Payments and Settlement Systems, Kweku Tete, said the introduction of interoperability has helped increase instant payment system transactions to 25 million as of January 2024.
We had deliberate strategies to introduce interoperability. And this interoperability was across different domains. So the first domain we integrated with the banks was the mobile money domain. And then we later added a platform that Gibbs had pioneered in 2008, which was a biometric switch smart card system for financial inclusion. In 2017, January, we did 90 transactions on the IPS. 2024, January, we have done 25 million transactions. So just by deliberately interoperating different domains, we saw a sudden growth, which broke the barrier of silos and inability of people to do cross transactions.
Experts believe overtaxing instant payment systems is a threat to improving inclusivity in Africa.
Stay a while longer within the financial space because the National Insurance Commission says it has taken steps to establish a new framework for calculating insurance penetration in the country to reflect the coverage rate. According to the NIC, it is collecting data on health and pension schemes to complement its life and non-life insurance coverage. Currently, insurance penetration in Ghana is below 1%, a situation some players have described as worrying. Speaking to Joy Business, Acting Commissioner of the NIC, Michael Kofi Ando, said the real penetration rate will be published by the end of 2024.
It's something that we've started work on. We need to gather data from the pension sector and from the health insurance sector, but we are measuring the penetration of insurance. The pensions is an aspect of insurance, health insurance is an aspect of insurance. So we need to consolidate all those areas and measure the proper penetration. As it is now, the NIC regulates only life and non-life insurance. So the figures we are calculating are penetration of life and non-life insurance. But to get the proper consolidated view, we need to get data from the health and the pension sector to add, and that is something that we are working on, and we hope to get a better view of where the penetration stands. Well, this is a matter of policy. It's a government policy. It is not a matter of a choice by the NIC. The government has to make that policy, so when that policy is made. But as at now, we regulate only life and non-life, and so that is where we stand. We are still talking to the stakeholders involved to get the data that we need to do the calculation. And so once we get the data, we hope to be able to publish something. Maybe by the end of 2024, we should be able to see what the real penetration looks like.
You're still watching Business Life. We have more for you, including the Joy Business Van next. And finally, before we go, the Ghana Chamber of Mines has hosted the 2024 Safety Performance Award Ceremony, a prestigious event dedicated to recognizing outstanding achievements in workplace safety within the mining sector. The event, which aims to promote health, safety, and operational excellence, brought together industry players and stakeholders to celebrate the exemplary performance and innovations in safety practices. Helen Nakai Ayi has the rest of the story.
The awards honored mining companies and individuals who have demonstrated exceptional commitment to maintaining safe working environments, reducing workplace incidents, and advancing sustainable safety practices. It featured 4 categories: Best Mine based on occupational injury statistics, Best Improved Mine, Best Safe Mine based on mine safety, health, and environmental audit, as well as Best Mine Team based on safety and first aid. Recipients were lauded for their proactive measures and contributions toward fostering a culture of safety, which is critical to the continued growth and sustainability of Ghana's mining industry. Speaking to Joy Business, the Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines at the Minerals Commission, John Amwenyi, emphasized the importance of mining companies in upholding safety standards in their operations and outlined key safety measures to enhance workplace safety.
Basically, we need to ensure that every activity we conduct in the mines should have safe operating procedure or safe working practice. And that practice, we need to just take all the workers through for them to understand the practice. So every activity they are going to do, they need to just take that particular procedure they have developed under that particular activity, and then just use that one to them, so that they will go through those activities, those procedures they've gone through, and they use that one to do their work in order to just minimize the accidents.
The news team also spoke to representatives of some mining companies who won awards for safety within the mining industry.
We try as much as possible to train people to understand and to work safely. We say that if it is not safe, we make it safe. So what it means is that initially was a journey that we were embarking on. That was, if it's not safe, don't do it. Don't do it means that people will leave it and you still leave the place hazardous. But this time everybody has a sense of responsibility to say that if it's not safe, I will make it safe.
It is with pride that we take this position, knowing that all the effort that you've put into mining safely has given us some results. I think it's a good feeling to know that the work that you are doing is yielding some results. On the environment side too, we prioritize everything to make sure that we protect the environment for the sake of the future generation.
The ceremony highlighted the sector's resolve to balance productivity with the health and safety of all involved.
That's it for the bulletin. I am Pius Kojo Baka. See you at 8 p.m.